Welcome to today's video where we'll be talking about how Amazon reimbursements work, and more specifically, how you can get your money back from Amazon in Seller Central. So first, I'll be sharing with you the most common reasons of why Amazon might be owing you money. Then I'll share with you two options for you to actually get that money back into your pocket. But before we get to it, do not forget to leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss any of our future videos. And without further ado, let's get to it. All right, so first, this is a list of the most common reasons why Amazon might be owing you money. And it's very important for you to know this list because a lot of times Amazon will not realize that they made a mistake on their own and just issue a reimbursement. Sometimes they do, but a lot of times they won't. So it's very important for you to know what to be looking for, some mistakes that they might be making, so you can actually claim your money back. So let's quickly go over this list. So first, there's the FBA fee overpayment. And as you know, your FBA fee cost, like the price, is determined based on the weight and dimensions of your product. So when Amazon receives your product into their warehouse, they actually have a machine measure it to actually determine the size and dimensions and establish your FBA fee. But sometimes mistakes happen, and that machine might be off, or there may be something wrong with that specific unit that they're measuring. And let's say they determine your FBA fee is $5 based on those measurements. And then you make a few sales until you realize that your FBA fee should be lower, and you contact them, you're able to fix your FBA fee. You can actually request reimbursement for all of those sales that they overcharged you, the difference of the FBA fees that you overpaid. And next, some of the other reasons are lost inventory at warehouse, lost inbound shipments, damaged inventory at the warehouse, disposed item without permission, because you can choose if you want an unsellable item to be returned or disposed. Maybe they disposed of it without your permission, without you choosing that. So a lot of times you saw that this first section was about like how they manage your inventory at their warehouse. I mean, Amazon has so many warehouses, it's actually not that difficult for mistakes to happen. They might lose it, things might get damaged. When they receive so many shipments in a day, maybe they lose a whole carton or a few units. So you have to pay attention to that, as well as the next few reasons where it has to do with returns. So you make a sale, the customer receives it, sometimes they return it. And there are a lot of issues that they can happen during that whole process. So for example, they might actually issue a refund to the customer, and the customer never returns the item back. Or maybe they will reimburse you for a lower quantity of items. Let's say it was supposed to be for 2 units and they only reimburse you for 1. Or they might reimburse you for a smaller amount than they're supposed to when a return happens. Also, failure to just reimburse you for a return, they might just not do it. Failure to issue 20% restocking fee, failure to replace the items back into inventory. And what's important to know is that whenever you make a claim and Amazon reimburse you, they might reimburse you in cash, or they might reimburse you in the forms of your unit, meaning that let's say they lost one of your products, they might actually find it. So you're not going to get money back, you're going to get your product back, which is resolved, the situation's resolved. And lastly, maybe they issued a chargeback, but they did not reimburse you. So again, these are just the most common reasons, very important to understand. And this may surprise you, but these issues happen a lot more often than you might imagine. And the discrepancies, the opportunities for reimbursements actually range between 1% to 3% of revenue. And this might look like a small number, but over a year, for example, let's say you make about $300,000 in revenue a year. Then that's about $3,000 to $9,000 per year that you're leaving on the table. That might be like what you owe in taxes, or there's so much that you can do with that money. So very, very important to understand how you can get that money back. All right, so option number 1, you can actually file a claim with Amazon directly. So some things that you need to know. One is that in most cases, you have up to 18 months since the discrepancy, since the error happened, to actually file the claim. After that, it's gone. Like, you cannot file the claim anymore if you realize something happened 19 months or 18 months and 2 days ago. Also, when you file a claim, you need to provide any required documentation. So, for example, if it has to do with inventory that you shipped to Amazon, but they didn't find it, they lost it, they never scanned, Amazon will definitely want proof that you actually shipped that product. They would want proof of purchase and proof of delivery and all that. That's just one example. Depending on the reason why you're actually filing that claim, you're going to most likely have to provide specific documentations. And lastly, it's important to know that Amazon actually does realize that they have made mistakes, and they actually initiate reimbursement automatically on their own. So before you file a claim, always check if they already, your existing reimbursements, if they are already actually addressing that issue. And the way that you do that is by going to your menu on Seller Central, then reports, then clicking fulfillment. And I'll show you here. So this is what it would look like. Once you're under reimbursements, you might have to go under payments and then find this tab right here, reimbursements. And you can try to find here, for example, let me go back 180 days, for example. You can generate report, or you can look for a specific SKU, order ID number, and then you can generate report. So you see here, for example, that Amazon will state the reason for that reimbursement, then all of this data that is covered right now that is specific to the product. Then they're going to say the amount that was reimbursed, if it was cash, or if I scroll here, you can see that there are other ways that they would be reimbursement. Maybe it was quantity that was reimbursed as inventory, as I've already mentioned before. For example, if the reason was lost, maybe they found it, then it was showed here. And you would see here that we got reimbursed $6.49 for this one unit that they damaged. So once you go over your existing reimbursements and you know that Amazon didn't already create a reimbursement ID for this situation, then you can file a claim. And you can do this by going here. And I will have this link in the description below, but this page is more specifically for inventory related reimbursements, which is, I would say, 95% of reimbursement cases. If you do have an FBA fee reimbursements, you can just create a case by going to seller support if you'd like. And then here, in terms of inventory, you will see that there's all of the information that you need. It also reinstates here that it cannot be over 18 months since the reported loss or damaged item, for example. And there's the checklist here before you submit a claim. It says, check your inventory adjustments reports, check your manage FBA inventory report, and gives you all of the instructions on what to do. And lastly, check your reimbursements reports, which is what I just showed you. And one thing that it's important to highlight is that Amazon might actually take about 30 days to start that reimbursement, the automatic reimbursement. So if you're thinking about filing a claim, I would wait for 30 days since you realize that something was missing or damaged to actually file a claim, because you might actually not even be able to start the process if it hasn't been a while, at least the 30 days, because Amazon still has time to actually start that reimbursement. So after you go through all that, which, to be completely honest, it's an extremely tedious task, especially if you have a lot of inventory, a lot of different products. If you're just starting off, then maybe it's worth your time. But honestly, when you have to go through all of those reports and literally reconcile, and if you're familiar with accounting, you have pretty much balancing everything. Okay, the inventory that I started with, plus or minus all of the transactions, sales, returns, maybe it was unsellable and maybe they got disposed or it got returned. You have to account all of that and equals what you have today. And then you have to see that what you have today matches. So it is a bit of a tedious task, but if you do want to do that manually, this is the step-by-step. This is the option 1 if you do want to do that yourself. So you go through all of these steps, and after you've done all that, then you can submit your claim. You can come here and start under submit your claim and start the process. Just follow the instructions on this link step by step, and again, I'll be leaving that in the description below. And another way to file a claim specifically for issues related to inbound shipments is for you to go to Seller Central, then on the menu go to inventory, manage FBA inventories, and find the specific shipment that you would like to reconcile. So once you find your shipment, you can click on it, and now Amazon has this new layout, and you can come to this new tab called Content. It used to be called the Reconcile tab if you found anything wrong with any discrepancies. And in this case, you can see that we have shipped 100 units, but they've only located 97 units. And Amazon actually does it most of the times. They do an investigation. As you can see, investigation completed, shipment contents counted and confirmed. So maybe they miscounted and they actually had that 100, but no, they actually investigated automatically and saw that there was a discrepancy of 3 units missing. So the way that you would file a claim here would be to scroll down. You would see here that there are some documents that are required. As I said, you can review the documents required that you need to submit. Then you can upload them here. Choose the files, upload files, and then provide any additional information if you have a description of the boxes or anything more specific. If there's an issue with the UPC code or anything like that, provide that information here. Then you can click to preview your request and then just click submit, and the case will be created. And now let's actually talk about option number 2, which honestly gets me excited because this is so tedious and honestly complicated, and in my opinion, really not worth my time, and I would say not worth your time, especially the more that you expand your business. So option number 2 is to sign up for Getida. And Getida is a service that will actually find all of these issues that might be going on, especially the inventory issues, so you don't have to be really paying attention on every single inventory balance or numbers yourself. They will find this for you, and they will create the claims. They will file the claims for you. And Getida is, 1, free to sign up. You are only going to pay them if you get cash back. And how much you're going to pay them? You're going to pay a 25% of how much they recovered for you. And in my opinion, it is hands down worth it. And here is a screenshot of how much they have recovered for us in the last 2 years since we've signed up. So we got back $3,639 just in automatic claims. We have not filed anything ourselves. Just through Getida, we got back this amount of money. So I would say it's definitely worth it. And one thing that is really, honestly, I would say an advantage on hiring Getida is because they have people that are experts in dealing with Amazon seller support, honestly. If you've dealt with Amazon seller support, you know that it can be a pain. Sometimes you call them and the person does not know what they're talking about, or they can't really resolve your issues, so they need to escalate to another team and then escalate, and it takes forever. And it's honestly a pain to deal with them. But Getida has a team that honestly knows the language to use when filing the claim. They know exactly what to ask for and which information to give. And if there's any additional information that it's needed, any documentation, maybe proof of purchase, commercial invoice, then you're going to be receiving an email directly from Getida telling you exactly what they need for the case to be resolved and for you to receive your reimbursement. So I would 100% say that using Getida is worth it. And if you're interested in signing up, again, it's completely free to sign up. You only pay if you get any money back, and you pay only the 25% fee, nothing more. then I'm going to leave the link in the description below. It is an affiliate link. We are affiliated with Getita, but I would not be recommending this tool if I did not think was 100% worth it. And again, if you do want to do the step-by-step process, you know where to go. I'm also leaving that link for you to submit your claim in the description below. But if you do want to sign up for Getita, you find that in the description, our link, and you can learn more about them and their partners, events that they have. You can watch some of their video tutorials to get more information as well. Learn about them, some of their pricing. I'll click here for you guys to see. And here it's what's included when you create an account. And one last thing that I wanted to say is that if you want to keep track of your reimbursements, whenever a reimbursement case is created, you're going to receive a reimbursement ID, either through the case that you've created, they're going to provide, or the case that Getita has created, they're going to provide, or here in the reimbursements page that I showed you guys before, you're going to see the reimbursement ID right here. And if you want to see the status of that reimbursement, if it went through or not, then you can go here to the reimbursement ID and just paste that number. And then you can go ahead and generate a report to see more details about it. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, be sure to click on the like button and also subscribe to the channel, and be sure to comment below if there's anything that I've missed, or if there are any experience that you want to share with everyone else that you've had with Getita or filing it yourself. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys in future videos.